Welcome to podcast Berlesen, people. So it's been a while since we talked to Flava. How are you, Flava?
I'm doing great. How are
Yeah.
you?
I'm awesome. I
Yeah.
just had a nice burger deal.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whether you're happy like kalau tak dapat makan, like very low in energy and
Then I'll
stuff.
be like lemau, you know.
Yeah, we were just talking about this where terlalu kenyang.
Yeah.
So we will end up doing like the podcast macam
Uh,
uh
this one is like food coma, they call it.
yeah, exactly. But honestly, this is not normal because usually before we work, we don't usually makan. I think this is the only time where we just langgar and just makan before a show, like.
Yeah. Thanks to Bobby Terbang who terbang his way here.
Yeah.
Bawa makanan. Yeah, but it's been a while since we recorded an episode with you.
Yes.
The last time we recorded, we grilled you with questions on an award.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do
I
you
like
feel-
that. I like that a lot.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you like being grilled?
Yes.
Oh.
It's good that I think you're asking the right questions. And I think it's good. I kinda enjoyed the session though.
Okay.
Asking the
Okay.
right questions, yeah.
Oh man, then you won't enjoy this one, you know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit grilling. Let's see. We want to keep it entertaining too,
Okay.
Yeah.
But this time we want to talk more about your expertise, your skills.
Okay.
In hosting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But before that, right? I'm wondering to our viewers. Okay, before I ask our viewers, right, I'm wondering for you, right? What if we make this like a chit-chatty episode, like we release it every week, just like how we do now?
I don't mind it at all. But I've always been curious about what really kind of topics that you have in mind
Mm.
and what really the viewers really want to hear, because nowadays semua orang nak macam the spicy stuff,
Ah,
the drama stuff, all the juicy
Okay.
juicy
like.
juicy drama any kind of drama,
Mm.
So I know that you and me were both from the esports industry,
Mm.
and I think we had a short conversation earlier also, tengok macam it doesn't have to be esports, there's not always drama and hot stuff around esports every week, but maybe we can talk about some of the hot ones happening
Mm.
around, not limited to esports also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Or we can talk about like general topics like life, because life is relatable to everyone, like career, for example.
I agree.
And how you manage your finances, for example.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't need to reveal to everyone how much you make.
Betul.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
What is that supposed to be?
but maybe some people wouldn't mind like learning something from like how you manage yourself.
Yeah, betul. Yeah. I think that will be something possible. We can definitely try to arrange that. Tengok kalau orang-orang, if you guys agree, if you guys are up for it, if you guys think it's a great idea, it's not just about saying yes, but also let Cloud know about what you guys want to listen to. Nak topik apa, nak dengar cerita pasal apa,
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe there's something that you're curious about, you want to know about Flava.
Yeah.
Like
most
how does
definitely.
he keep his hair very nicely combed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pakai comb.
Yeah.
Yeah. pakai comb.
Something that I cannot relate anymore.
You
so,
cannot? Oh, right.
yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boleh.
But today specifically, we want to talk to you about your hosting
Okay.
days. Yeah. How do you get into hosting?
Ooh, interesting enough. I've wanted to become a host in sekolah rendah actually, Sekolah rendah. So basically kat sekolah rendah dulu I pergi sekolah dekat sekolah rendah no, sorry, my apologies. Sekolah menengah. Waktu peringkat awal tu lah, like form 1, form 2, form 3, right? So I went to this school called Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Section 10 in Kota Damansara. So I had interest, and then normal lah kalau MC level sekolah, dia akan bagi you script pagi tu, like bacaan negaraku lah, dipersilakan ucapan daripada pengetua lah or something like that. It's just limited to that. And then after that, kind of it died down because I don't see ways of opportunities to actually grab onto this. Tapi waktu time kat diploma, I wanted to be one, but it's just that the opportunity never came because they were giving the opportunities to other people who they know can MC. Waktu tu I don't have the experience. And during that time pun I memang seorang yang pendiam. I wasn't like this. Like back then I was very pendiam. I don't have much friends, I think, because I wasn't the havoc kind. I wasn't the cool kid at the block or anything like that. So I wasn't like hip or everything like that.
Then what kind of kid were you?
Yalah, just pergi kelas, buat, pergi kelas, balik kelas, and then like very schema. Diploma was kind of schema.
Like no interaction, just come to study.
Tak ada interaction. I mean, like, they are friends. Like, people don't just leave you alone just like that. But schema, so meaning like pendiam and not really have. You know, you can tell when a kid is like, oh, that's a cool kid. Look at that kid, surrounded by people, kawan ramai, and everything like that.
That's the cool stuff.
Exactly. And I will say my friends are very limited to my classmates because I don't think classmates you don't interact, right? And other people in your batch who kind of knows you because dulu duduk asrama. So obviously there are some people on your block who knows you and everything like that. So friends are just limited to those people, you know, and probably some people you interact. But I wasn't very outspoken or anything like that lah. So that was back in the days. Then after that, when I went to degree, I think when I went to degree, the student affairs kind of gave me the opportunity to MC somewhat macam zaman sekolah. Dia bagi you script, you baca je. But it's just a high level lah. But if you have any somewhat bigger than school level. And I was very lucky because bila buat event-event kat uni ni, there are some events where outside people who are in the industry would come over. Either they become a guest or something like that. And I was discovered by this guy, Charles Mohan, okay? Yeah, so he's a very big figure when it comes to media, especially when becoming a news presenter as well as an MC. And then he offered me to become an MC for an event. My first ever paid gig dekat luar, outside event. And it had an attendee of 30,000 people.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, my first event yang berbayar di luar was actually a 30,000 people crowd. It was called the Malaysia United Run half marathon event. So event tu ada Lee Chong Wei, it was open.
Within the 30,000 people, it's not just people.
It was I would say no, the 30,000 people were mainly mass public, but the how do you say that, the influencers, the celebrities who were there were like Lee Chong Wei, orang-orang yang very very famous and all this, and athletic people, and and the event was by the Ministry of Defence. Yeah, during that time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
you got Abang Askar, you got
yes. Apa tu yang universiti yang Askar tu apa? UPNM. UPNM
Universiti Pertahanan Malaysia.
Yeah.
UPN.
Correct. So I think a quarter of them were them. And during the half marathon, most of them were the first ones to finish because that's like a normal morning routine to them. Diorang punya, I think every morning they do a marathon and things. So bila datang event tu macam, oh, half marathon ke? Okay. No problem.
Oh,
yeah.
It's easy routine for them.
I assume so lah, you know.
Yeah, but I almost forgot to inform our audience, like in case for whatever reason it's the first time you knowing who Flava is. Flava is one of the best hosts around Malaysia and also everywhere else, I guess. I think there's a whole long list by now. Yeah. Need you to fill in the details a little bit more. And also, what's with the look?
I'm just giving you the looks for fun.
Oh, okay. And it's not only in esports, but also in any other events out there. Like, you've been doing a lot of events recently.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get to some of that later.
Yes.
Yeah, and some of the events that you have covered and maybe some of the stories that you can share.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So coming back to your marathon story, right? So 30,000, your first paid gig, how do you feel at time?
Feels great. Of course, nervous because now I know how 30,000 people look like on stage. You know, like you on look, oh, this is how 30,000 people look like.
Wow.
Because kalau dulu in my uni, the multi-purpose hall could fit roughly around 800 people. So I kind of know how much 800 people looks like if it's like jam-packed in the hall, right? So I saw 30,000 people, so holy shit. You're telling me I'm emceeing this event? And like you know, very overwhelmed. But the moment you get up on stage, you don't have a choice. You know, all this anxiety, all this butterflies in your stomach and everything like that. It's there. It doesn't disappear, but you have to do your job well. You have to entertain everyone. You have to look like you know what you're doing. You have to sound like you know what you're doing and everything. Yeah, because there are a number of people who put trust upon you that you're able to carry this show. So you have to do it well. Yeah.
Okay, and were you like alone or you had a partner?
During that time, I had a partner. I would assume that she's a veteran, but during that time, I don't want to say anything bad or anything like that. I would say that both of us at that time, despite her being slightly more senior than me, I think we both kind of work with each other well. during for that event lah. Yeah.
So nobody was carrying each other. Everyone pulled their own weight.
No,
lah,
don't
you
think
say.
so. And I think that my partner during that, it was a lady, right? My apologies, I forgot what her name was, but I think that I would assume that she would not want somebody who's not able to carry his own weight on stage, right? So of course, it's for me, I have to somewhat prove my worth and show her and my clients that I can also host very, very well. Yeah, tak nak lah jadi burden kat dia kan. So in that sense.
Right. And then how was the aftermath of that event? How
Yeah,
do
so
you
far,
feel?
I feel very happy and everything. But of course, that opportunity came, and after that, I returned back to my normal life, doing the normal events in my uni. Uni events don't get paid. The student affairs of the university is not gonna pay you to do these gigs, right? So this,
Yeah, it's considered your co-curriculum or your club event, something
club
like that.
event, something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, you're more or less volunteering for it, and they're just happy that somebody's willing to volunteer to become this because they are also offering it to students. You know, if the students will take up on it, basically they themselves will be doing it. Yeah. So for me, is an opportunity where I don't think if I go out in the working world after takkan nak tunggu I dah habis graduate baru I nak dwell into MCing because by then I don't have enough experience. I have not accumulated enough experience for me to prove my worth after studies, you know. So why not I just take all these opportunities during studies, and then by that time I'm already trained or have some sort of experience.
Why have you always why do you have this thought that you always wanted to be an MC? Like what triggered you to have that interest?
Interesting question. I never thought about that. I feel that it's something that I can do. I mean, I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer for this, but I feel that it is something that I can do. Feels like something is doable, you know, because I love observing how other people do it, and I've always have this feeling that I think I can do this, do this well, not just stuck at membaca script like just like that, but really really do it very very well. Have that feeling. But of course, I do understand my limitations as well on the things I can and cannot do. For example, I've always had this thing where I start to compare myself with other MCs where they have formal training compared to myself. Nobody ever trained me. So I have to somewhat, train myself to do this. For example, be mindful with things I say, be mindful of things I do, see things in the perspective of an audience, how things look like on the stage and everything and whatnot. So there are a few I believe that some of our friends who had some formal training, training when they work in TV, in media stations and all that. So it's somewhat a fast track where they kind of know already that, you tak boleh cakap ni, tak boleh cakap tu. But for me, I have to go through like a number of years of process to truly capture those essence.
And surely there will be failures along the way, lah.
Yes, there are failures. But Alhamdulillah, most of them were very minimal failures and I'm able to prevent big failures. I would say most of the occasions are big hiccups which I saved them rather than big hiccups coming from my end.
Okay. But I like the fact that you thought during uni is that, okay, I want to set myself up later. So whatever opportunities that I get, whether it's inside of uni or maybe some jobs that come from the outside while you were still a uni student, you would pick everything up.
Betul.
Yeah, that's quite crazy. It's like you look forward to the future, right? A few steps ahead. Yeah. Which I think that because I interact with a lot with students, right? There are students who look at how they're gonna rather than just come and just go to class and go home, like you take all these side activities as enrichment to things that you might want to do in the future a little bit more. Yeah, and I think that there needs to be a lot more of this encouragement to students, because like what I always tell students is that inside uni you can do all the mistakes that you want.
I agree.
Yeah, and people won't penalize you. Not say people won't penalize you, but the impact of it is not as big. Right, but if example, like if you start kerja, like it becomes a job for you, and then you go out and host, and then you say something you're not supposed to say, you might be asked not to show up the next day.
I agree.
Right, so it's a very safe space to just experiment your own self and just just do it, right? Without the fear of failing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very lucky because during that time when I did my degree, when I do emceeing for this event, right? I keep highlighting a lot in the student affairs division because they were the ones who gave me the opportunity to actually take up on these events because most events are under them, right? So recommendations and everything. When I do make mistakes, they do advise me on certain things. Flavan, waktu dulu my stage name wasn't Flava. So people actually know me as Brad. So that was actually my nickname at uni. So they were like, Brad.
Where do you get Brad from?
This one senior bagi nickname.
And why Brad?
Oh God, I hated the reasoning behind this. Although my name is Muhammad Farouk,
Okay.
but so you know how in asrama the seniors will give the juniors nicknames, right? So they say that nama you Farouk. So in WWE, there's this tag team called Farouk and Bradshaw.
Okay.
So yeah, this was back in the days, right? And it was like, I'll take Bradshaw, but I'm gonna cut it in half. So it's just gonna be Brad. So nama macam cool. Ooh, Brad. Like it's not that cool. You know, the reasoning behind it is like this. Yeah. So that's the reasoning behind my seniors giving me that name. So
were you ever a wrestling person?
No, I was a wrestling fan waktu zaman-zaman yang Kane, while The Rock was still around and all this. This was while it was still WWF. Not WWE. Masa tak tengok dah.
Right.
Yeah. So
it was way back. Okay.
Itulah. So back to things tadi macam student advisor kata, Brad, you so you could have done this better. You could have done this. Oh, next time yang ni you buat macam ni. Okay. So they're not really scolding you. They're not really scolding me and everything like that, but just giving me advice so that I can improve in the future. And really, really appreciate this kind of things.
Yeah. That's where the cushion to fall back is actually pretty thick.
I agree.
Whatever mistakes, somebody will either cover you or somebody will just tegur you, and you can still do whatever that you do lah, kan?
Exactly.
That's the key difference there. And I always encourage students to just go out and do more club activities. It may feel sometimes it may feel like overwhelming and all that. Maybe you may feel like there's too many things to do. Like you have to do studies, and then at the same time maybe you have to be part of events. But at some point, when it comes to real world work, it may be even more worse than that. So you kind of get acclimated to okay, this is how you can manage your time. You don't need to drown yourself in everything, but you know that when to prioritize what to do better. You learn that earlier on.
Yeah, that's true. But kalau event ni pun sejujurnya cakap, because most of them are optional, right? As much as you want to push them, go seek all this while you can. But for them, it's like, nah, it's optional, right? If it's optional, most of them will be like, nah, it's okay. Unless if it's something of interest, then they consider. But for me, because I was kind of desperate, I was like, you give me anything, I'll take it. For any events and all. This is all opportunities for me to just improve myself. Doesn't matter how boring the event is. Doesn't matter how big the event is. I'll take up on it, But I understand. I don't want to also penalize these people because they have choices, kan? Sebab event tu macam dulu, because when I did my diploma, it was a government university. I don't want to call out unis and all this because government universities, most of them are you're chasing all these merits and points. When you have to go events, you accumulate enough points for the semester, then you get points untuk you dapat asrama and everything like that. So they are somewhat forced into joining unis. But when joining a private university, when I did for my degree, right, these are all optionals. You don't go, there's no penalty for it. There's no merits for you to actually go it. Unless it's like a class activity where, guys, today kita kena pergi sini untuk event ni and together. But beyond all that, there's no merit for them to go. So basically people, you're not obliged to actually go to this kind of events and everything. So I understand why they choose to say no, which is not wrong.
Yeah. I know we're sidetracking a little bit from the main topic, but you mentioned something that I also wanted to point out before we come back on track. Is that so I had a student recently that in the second week of our class comes and he doesn't show much interest, and then I asked why, are you okay, kan? And then he says that upfront tells me, I actually have no interest in this kan. And then my thought process is that, well, you have a choice. I mean, for few key reasons. Number one, if you don't have interest, you can choose to do something else.
Betul.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, if you have no interest but you stay on, because whatever that we do is related to other people, it's a group work stuff. Group work, group team stuff and all that. So you also impact other people.
I agree.
Because after that class, the people who had to work with him for that day on that activity came to me and say, "Can we not work with him anymore? He's just what was the word that they use?
Was it tak buat kerja, is it?
Or
not engaging, not involved, or just
he
doesn't
wasn't
care.
He's not engaged. He doesn't care. He basically that lah kan. So that gives the negative vibe to other students. But this is where I would say, as a learning place lah kan, it works both ways. Because in life you don't always get the perfect scenario for yourself. Like sometimes you have to work with somebody that maybe you're not too comfortable with. So this is where you need to learn how to tolerate, and also maybe how to give feedback on, like, maybe the person doesn't know that you are not feeling good about how he is behaving. So within a teamwork, you have to be able to tell each other on, like, hey, I'd rather that you don't do this.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of more upfront feedback rather than just complain to me and then the class is over and the next time I can interact with them is the next class, which is the basi dah benda tu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will be surprised that they don't realize this, but somewhat it's scenarios that we face in our fields too. In the future as well. You may seem like, oh, benda uni ni, I don't think in the future when I work, this is not going to happen. Not really. Actually, it happens so many times, right? That is things that we have to work with people who have no interest and all this. And that's life.
Exactly.
That's life.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a sidetrack there, but I think there's a lot of good key points that you also brought up as well. So coming back to your hosting, like, and so throughout your uni, you did those gigs internally and also got offered externally. Did a huge event with 30,000 people in it. So post uni, how did you like continue your journey into hosting? Like, what was next after uni?
No, that's the thing. I mean, I still continue on, but somewhat before I ended my uni life, right? I was offered with some other jobs outside of uni. So I'm so glad that I kind of started off during uni time. So by the time I ended my uni life, I was still working on being an MC and everything like that.
So
and
people know you.
Exactly. So it just snowballed from there rather than I start from scratch after uni. I've already had experience. And I was very lucky because during that time, I wasn't just doing MCing. I was also doing commentaries during uni time for esports, right? I did Dota 1 right before it was transitioning to Dota 2. And then for a few years, because game-game lain tak naik kan. Waktu tu baru nak dengar PUBG Mobile. Waktu tu baru nak dengar other games. I don't do League of Legends. So I was like kind of sticking to Dota for quite a while and everything like that. Yeah, so yang pasal hosting, there's nothing
wrong. Just look
wrong.
at Lin, it's like,
no, there's nothing
he goes
wrong.
like,
I'm not shitting on League of Legends. I'm just saying,
league people there.
I'm just saying that I don't play League. So no foul there. Yeah. So I itulah. But the hosting just continues from there lah. Okay. But the niche is towards esports, but not during the start. During the start of my career as a host, right, I just continued hosting other events other than esports, because during that time the demand for me was mostly in doing commentaries, because we were lacking commentaries here in Asia as a whole, not just Malaysia. Philippines doesn't have English commentators. Indonesia doesn't have English commentators. Every time back in the days when we dengar English commentators, it's like Ang Mo lah, it's orang putih lah. Cakap orang putih kan. It's either always the white people, Australia, EU, North America, South America, and everything like that. So, and I started phrase, so basically I was still doing commentaries, but the hosting work is mainly around everything else. So I did a lot of times, so you had a gala dinner lah, press conferences lah, all this thing, mall events, and etc. So many things. I think it was only up to 2017 I have this feeling where I want to do hosting lah. Honestly, I got tired of doing commentaries, because commentaries requires you to talk a lot more compared to hosting. But hosting has its own different challenges, because you have to manage an event as a whole, whereas commentaries, basically you're physically and mentally tired from talking so much. Yeah, so but as a host, I kind of enjoyed the challenges because not many people can actually handle these things on stage.
Yeah, especially as a host, you have to do crowd control stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, not crowd control as in stunts. And,
Yeah, bukan.
not that, not
Bukan
that.
CC.
Not CC,
Some,
stunt.
but CC on SNMC is different.
Uh,
You are right. You actually, yeah, it's like, I CC them.
yeah,
yeah. CC them, yeah, differently.
But in a way that you don't want them to be stunned.
Exactly.
Or stunned in a good way.
Is that a good, yeah.
Can be also.
Yeah, this is like a play in words too. But I think you guys get it.
So I understand the challenge of the host. Yes, like what you say, right? You speak lesser than commentators. Your brain probably doesn't need to work as much as commentators because of analyzing the game and all that. But the challenge is crowd control. If you do something whatever on stage and the crowd doesn't react to it, it goes like,
I would say that's one of many challenges.
And this is where we want to know a bit more.
So I think it's one of many challenges. Yeah. Honestly, when it comes, it's not like you really want a reaction from a crowd. Not really. It's not really that because it's not your response. As an MC, you must get a reaction from a crowd. Not really. I wouldn't say that. I've never heard of any client say, "Oh, we want a reaction from the crowd." All this to a certain extent, yes, but that's not really it. For clients, they want you to execute the event to a certain level where it's up to their expectations. So expectations. But of course, your responsibilities as an MC is way beyond that. So I understand when a lot of people look at MCs, right? Wow, MC ni bestnya cara dia bercakap dengan tona suara and the way he walks around the stage, the confidence and the way he speaks as if he knows almost everything about the whole event. But behind the scene, there's a lot of preparations. There's a lot of conversations together with the production team, with the agencies, if there's an agency involved, with the clients directly, working together with brands. And also on top of that, you also have to be creative in understand how you can navigate through all this. Because there's no such thing as a client who's going to give you 100% that if you follow this textbook, you're going to do okay. You have to do a little bit of thinking for yourself. So since you talk a little bit about commentators, right? So for example, when I work as a commentator, I kind of know what I have to do for the day. It's always the same. I come for the event. When the show is about to start, you always have the opening. You always have your pre-show. And then let's say, for example, if the game involved is a MOBA, there's a... so before you start, you have a pre-game analysis and everything that. Then the draft, in-game, post-game analysis. After that, it's either you throw to break or you throw to MC. So the routine is always more or less the same. I wouldn't say not always the same, but more or less the same. There's always going through graphics and everything like that. But at an MC, anything can happen during the event. Anything can happen. Let's say, for example, if shit happens, right? When we saw technical difficulties, if there's issues going on with performances where they're not even there and everything like that, buying time, not making the event look like shit when it actually is on the back end. But you're still smiling, you're still pretending like everything's okay. Everybody look at the guy is like, oh, he seems like he has some stuff to but sometimes they can tell that you're trying to kill time and everything like that, It's all about navigating your way through all these things and minimalizing the damage as much as possible. Because I don't want to say things like, oh, we're superheroes where we can just put out the fire, no problem. No, not really. We're trying to minimalize things as much as we can to the best of our abilities. And remember, while all shit is happening on the back end, because on the back end, production, client, agency, when bad things are happening, they are shouting at each other. They're mad at each other. Somebody is scolding somebody about either to blame. I want to figure out who's at fault. Whereas the MC kat depan tengah senyum, tengah talk to everyone and everything like that. Yeah, trying to say things to keep everybody's morale okay and everything like that, So you acknowledge that there are things happening, but you also have to make sure that you are able to handle all these things on the front end.
So what is, based on your experience, what is the most challenging scenario that you have faced as a host before?
I had an event where the venue caught fire.
Wait, what?
And then...
Wait, how big is this fire?
I would say... I don't think it's that big till the building was about to collapse or anything like that. But it does require... it does require a change of venue. So that is when you see whether or not this MC knows his shit or not when shit happens, like actual shit, not like technical difficulty, like actual shit, like emergencies. You know how an MC
Or like the door is there.
the door is there and everything like that, right? Yeah, remember when remember those housekeeping announcements when you say do not panic? This is the time when you really follow that cars. Hey, do not panic. Listen to my instructions. But of course, people do panic because when these things happen, it's a very normal reaction. But you try to the best of your abilities to navigate things around. You work together. Do not fret. Do not panic. Follow our staff. They are wearing this red colored shirt and everything like that towards the exit. The exit's over there. Just follow my voice and go towards the exit. Do not use any escalators or elevators. Use the stairs only. And at the same time as well, I'm also trying to navigate the other crews because sometimes they don't pay attention to the announcements, right? I was once those kind of people. So you guys need to hear my voice. Don't let them use elevators or escalators, especially in situations like fire and everything like that. So they had to relocate to a new venue, and then we kind of reset things off. And then you have to relive back the moments. So everybody give a round of applause to yourself for being respectful, for listening to the instruction. And alhamdulillah, we're at a brand new venue where the venue organizers were able to arrange all this immediately. You know?
Wow, you actually do that. Relieve the moment?
Yeah.
Wow.
No. But basically, people need to, because these kind of shits, I like to say this word a lot, right? The kind of shits when this kind of shit that happens, right? Actual emergencies. People could potentially die, overdose in van, fire, technical difficulties and all this happen, right? These clients are hoping that you know what to do since you are a professional MC, right? You should be able to handle this on the front end. Because on the back end, they're doing other stuff. Yeah, so because, remember this, right? A lot of people, when they go to an event, right? They see the MC taking stage, wearing a suit, wearing this nice dress, pretty, elegant, comb their hair and everything like that. But the true MVPs are actually the event organizers. Some of them take months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or even a year to plan an event. But at the end of the day, they're not the ones with the microphone. It's us. Like for me, I'm a host, and you, if you're a commentator, you're the ones with the microphone. They do not have the microphone, and it's not that simple for them to just grab the microphone in a case of an emergency and just scream, "Guys, listen to my voice." It'll make things worse because then you kind of show how big of a shit it is,
Right.
So you need to have that trust towards the MC because, as promised, I did say listen to my instructions. Right? So listen to my instructions. Let me navigate this because you have to solve other stuff, right? Yeah, that's how bad things can be.
Wow.
Other than that, it could be technical difficulties, suara tak keluar, video tak keluar, suddenly some like talent lambat lah, whatever and all this, right? You have to cover because you're the MC. And usually, most of the time, the MC is always the earliest because you have to run the show from start to finish. Yeah, because other talents in an event, contohnya macam performers and all that, you may come early, but you balik awal. You don't perform from start to finish. But the MC has to stay from start to finish.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I remember there was this one event that we did that we started in the morning and then we end up like very, very late the next morning.
Oh.
Yeah. So
There are circumstances where other talents also stay very long.
yeah.
There are, yeah.
But still, you had to stay a little bit more longer
Slightly
for
longer.
the ending of it.
I macam tutup kedai lah. I say, okay guys, thank you so much for coming today. We do hope to see you in the next event and everything like that.
Yeah. So I was kind of now that you mentioned about like the whole fire thing, right? It made me thought like, oh, so one of the biggest challenges that you have personally went through as a host is not on the my script was wrong or the stage stuff, right? But
those are small stuff.
Like
small stuff.
so that's considered small.
Very small.
But it's like the fire situation. Like you know what to do first. You stay calm yourself first. I think that's something out of the box, lah.
Yeah, and no, that's the thing. It's very important. Other people will be hearing this and it's like, oh, we need to know this to become MC. It's like, yeah, because since you belagak so much about how great you are as an MC to the client, right? You tell a client how, because as a talent, right? You're trying to show off how great you are to the to the client.
You're selling yourself, lah.
Yeah, selling yourself, right? So when shit comes, when time comes, when people want to see how great you are, right? That's when it's your time to shine, lah, to prove yourself, because everybody kept looking into best case scenario. What if worst case scenario?
Ah.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this. This is something that actually happened. It wasn't between us. It was between another different talent for casters in esports. Uh, we had this somewhat argument or it wasn't an argument, it was a conversation. Dia cakap, wah Flava, kerja you sebagai MC senangnya kalau tu event kan. Dah you cakap sikit, event pun macam senang je, setakat buat opening, introduce ni. And at that point, how I told the commentator is I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with what he said during that time. I agree with you, but you're just looking at this event because this is an easy event. Buka show, intro ni, interview some players, some people. Those are the kacang goreng events. Yeah, you're not looking at the big events. Let's say, for example, you're looking at national level events, regional events, where the itinerary are very, very complicated, where you're required to remember certain sequencing on how you want to execute them, which one to call out, how to call it out in a proper manner, and everything like that. Of course, event yang kacang goreng ni, I agree. Ya betul. Event ni senang. Korang cakap banyak gila and aku macam buat ni je. And the event was smooth sailing, meaning the event tu there's no hiccups, and everything, because the event has no hiccups. But when hiccup happens, you guys are not sorting it out. I'm sorting it out. They don't ask you as a caster to sort it out. Maybe you can sort out some of the small stuff and everything like that, but the main ones, I still have to sort it out. Yeah. So that's basically. So there's nothing wrong what he said during that time, but probably that commentator did not observe big scale or complicated level or types of events that MCs have to navigate and manage.
Yeah, and on like what you said, right? What the person said is not wrong because I would also think the same, right? And I believe that there is also a common conversation around like commentators versus MCs.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you are or have been on the both sides of the fence.
Yes, I know how it feels.
So you know how it feels like memang cakap banyak, memang you need to know a lot about the game, you need to do a lot of homework about the game that the patches changes and
exactly
things like that lah kan. And then benda baru ni keluar, then you need to hafal this new item.
Betul.
And all that lah kan. Especially in a game as complicated as Dota.
Correct.
Yeah, lagi lah kan. And then we start to look at each other. It's like, sikitnya MC buat kan.
Kalau
it's common.
If I use you as an example, kalau contoh you buat waktu zaman kita buat Dota a lot back in the days, we do a lot of Dota, right? So Dota punya game could be one game 1 hour including draft and everything like that, right? But nowadays macam game macam MLBB, macam HOK tu, although one game is not that long, probably 30 minutes including draft.
But it's still the same amount of things that you need to know.
Exactly. Knowledge and everything like that, time. But one thing I just want to add on is that yes, there are other MCs who also MC events like this. They don't require super in-depth knowledge about the game to become an MC for this, for example, esports events, right? But it's good added value if the MC does care about the game enough so that he or she is able to pose some quality questions to the athletes beyond balik-balik. How does it feel to win the match? How does it feel? I'm fine. Even I ask these questions too because I want to know how you feel. How's your... Then on top of that, the follow-up is always important. It sees whether you care or not. For example, I really want to talk a little bit about this part of the game where this happened. So I understand even the casters were thinking about it, but we want to know because they cannot ask the question. You cannot ask the question directly to the players, right? So in your hopes, you're hoping the MC or the interviewer is able to pose the important questions. So that's where you see whether or not an MC or a host interviewer truly cares or they just datang and tanya, my turn nak interview ke? Or I'll just ask them the normal question. Yeah, and then...
as casters will get... I mean, for us to follow up with the story tu macam, alamak, you didn't answer whatever...
Correct.
That big moment and why that happened.
Exactly, yeah. So you can kind of tell if an MC or an interviewer or a host really cares about it or buat sambil lewa je lah, They can always look good in front of a camera. They can always... The question is okay. Not saying that the questions are not okay. But as a viewer, the viewers are not dumb. I've always said this to a lot of people who wants to learn to become commentators and MC, right? Or even host. You have to remember, your audience yang tengok game, tengok event ni, they're not stupid. They watch these things and they have a certain amount of knowledge. They can catch whether or not you know what shit you're talking about.
I agree.
Yeah, and most hosts and MC, if they don't do their homework, they don't know jack shit about what they're doing, they don't try to talk anything about skills, abilities. Kadang-kadang tersalah cakap nama Contoh for example, for those, sorry lah, it's traversing a little bit about gaming because gaming has a lot of technicalities. For example, for Valorant, orang cakap, oh hero apa yang pakai Valorant? Kantoi.
Yeah. Tak boleh.
Kalau you cakap
agent.
You cakap Roshan in MLBB. Nampak sangat you tak tahu apa you tengah cakap ni.
Yeah, if you call champion in Dota, oh you gone.
Betul.
Yeah, cannot.
Yeah, nampak.
League people cannot agree.
So nampak bodoh lah, nampak kantoi sangat lah. Like, come on, don't tell me you didn't do this research. Janganlah malukan macam ni kan. I know everybody's laughing and these people, you brush it off macam it's nothing. It's actually a big thing. And the client is like, wait, all this while we didn't actually hire, we hired this person and he or she doesn't actually know about this sukan or whatever it is. This applies to other sukan, to other events, you know. Imagine if it was a minister level event, you don't know what shit you're talking about. The audience will be like, oh no, what are you talking about?
Yep. And I also realized that for the most part kan, majority of the audience that watch that particular game, biasanya lah, normally they will watch only that game.
Betul.
Yeah, so they are not like mixed with like, oh sekejap I watch game A and then I watch game B and game C and then their own information is diluted. It's not. When they watch that, 90% of the audience that watches that game only. So they know the history, all the technical details, the jargon semua. So if you say that, if you give a wrong history of like, oh, Team A used to be champion, but actually it's Team B. Or they will say, no, it's wrong. Something like that.
I think on top of all that, the drama. And the reason why this match matters is because, it's a revenge match. Actually, it was a rivalry because they swap players or athletes in between them. And this is all these stories behind them.
Correct. You need to know the lore.
Exactly. Yeah. If you, that's the thing. Think about it this way. That's why I said, it's great that you see these people, wah, nampak bestnya atas stage kan. But the thing you have to do is that at the end of the day, the audience doesn't have a mic. The event organizers don't have a mic together with them. You have the mic. People are expecting you to be the person to pose the right questions. Or at least to a certain standard, you know? Oh, he didn't ask. Oh, this players clash. He doesn't want to say anything, you know, macam for example, back in the days where macam no-tail dulu drama kan. Then why do people react in such way? If you're lost, then like, oh no, this guy doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah,
you know, this kind of thing.
Yeah, like, why they bump shoulders, like no tail, bump shoulders? Why they look at each other
exactly,
like that? Why?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you don't know that, you don't know how to carry the narrative to the post game, the interviews and all that.
Betul. You disappoint a lot of people. You disappoint client, the production kat belakang tu who's capturing these moments, videographers, photographers, people who navigate the audio engineers, video engineers, everything from the back end, the talents, the commentators, everything. It's semua like involved, right? Who knows what's happening? We'll be like so disappointed is that he didn't capture it, she didn't capture it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. This is just tidbits of things. I really like that the question you asked, what are other things other than crowd controls and everything like that. This could be one of the things as well.
So how about like you personally, right? Because you also host like a different, whether it's esports or non-esports. Like I think if it's corporate events, you don't really drive narratives that much. Am I right?
No, not really. That's not really a story to it. But you need to know just in case if there's something you need. For example, when I say corporate events, right? There's so many different types of corporate events. That's the thing. But like I said, that you just have to be mindful of the things you say.
Okay.
Be mindful of the things you do because the things you say or do could possibly hurt the feelings of the people who attend the event or people who organize the event. Especially when it involves, like, be mindful of brands, the things you say. Some people get overexcited and then you macam, oh no, you cross the line. That's also another thing. So that's all.
I think because your experience of emceeing is rather wide, let's scope it down to a sports or esports events first before we talk about like the corporate events. I think they're very different. So let's say sports or esports. I categorize that as the same. Again, what sort of prep work do you do for yourself to prior to the event to set narratives?
For me on a personal level, right? If the event too is like at the back of my hand, I kind of know what I need to do. I don't do much prep. because I already know what I need to do.
Right, because
Like-
like you come, you see the team, you know the players, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
know.
Yeah, know the players or know what the event is all about.
like Dota is a comfort zone.
From start to finish, I kind of know like, no, I don't do anything the day before. So I'm very comfortable. I can just sleep off the day before. If I'm super confident. So if I'm not so confident in certain things, I'll do a little bit of prep. So the amount of prep depends on how much unprepared you are for the event.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so that's for me lah. On my level. For example, this is an event where I might have missed out on certain things. When you do so many different type of events, right? Sometimes you just want to have a refresh, so you just go back, do a little bit of study, watch a little bit of live stream, if there is a live stream or anything like that, or do studies on whatever things that you can actually grab info from the net or from the clients or anything like that, because you also have limitations on what information you can get right at hand. I think that's how I operate. It's not like there's a definite thing I need to do and everything like that. If you want to go more in depth, for example, when I prepare myself, like, the day before I need to prepare my clothings, I need to update my client. Hey, this is what I'll be wearing tomorrow. Is that okay? Do you have cue cards ready for me? If not, I have to print it out. Yeah, those are kind of some of the small things I need to prepare. So if the client say, oh, sorry, we didn't know you need a cue card. Is it? We printed some A4. Sorry, no, we cannot do A4 because I'm not going to bring a big ass A4 paper on stage and bacha like this. It's very unprofessional. Don't you have a small tab? No. You don't have cue cards? No, it's okay. I had a cue card. I can print it out. You just send me the script and everything like that. I will amend the script according to my comfort, because usually clients suka, there's nothing wrong with this. Clients suka bagi script you macam an actual script where you have to read it. My name is Muhammad Faro. I'm the MC for today. For me, no, not really. I'm very sure I can carry myself really, really well doing that. I would just have some points like, say this, say this, say this, say this. Just like a refresher. Yeah. But things that I don't know, for example, number VIP, like panjang and all that, I put it there, I need to read it. Everything like that. Yeah. So I just prep accordingly. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But like I said lah, kalau you know everything at the back of your hand, you're like, I can sleep off today. The event tomorrow. What? Oh, no problem. Just pakai baju in the next morning and then just attend.
Yeah.
I guess all things I do.
Yeah, I can get what you mean here, because like for me because like let's say PUBG Mobile is something that I do all the time like, and so like number team, number players is like, yeah,
Exactly.
it's like it's just in my head.
Correct.
Just like that. So I don't need to like, buka balik the day before. This team, apa nama dia, who are the players and all that, and kind of like their lore, who was the champion. I don't need to do all that study.
Especially since you like some leagues consume like the duration of some leagues are like weeks, right? Since you've been doing it continuously, you're like, alah, ni baru semalam. It's like so fresh.
Yeah.
You kind of know. But I would assume that sometimes you just do it because league ni dah lama, just nak refresh je. Bukan you tak tahu. It's just a small refresher. Lah diorang dapat ni. And sometimes you just want to do extra research. For example, you just want to find some extra facts. Last time they won was actually back in the year, fun facts. All this extra stuff. Yeah, I think those are the kind of homeworks you want to do.
Yep. I just give a bit of my hack for my side lah kan. When it comes to prep of doing shows like this. My live stream or my short TikTok contents, when I talk about like, transfer window, all this, or if I live, then viewers will come and want to talk to me about like the tournament, and then I just give my opinion. They would just ask random questions. Those are actually while I live stream, while I refresh myself. So it's like 2 in 1. Yeah, sort of like a prep. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do before whole professional league starts. I like to do a tier list. So when I do a tier list,
I know that,
live stream, and then viewers will come, they will talk about it, they will have their opinions. They're like, I never thought about that. Okay, then
I think that's great.
That thing,
I don't do that because unfortunately as an MC,
you don't need to be that level of depth.
That's true, but the way I'm thinking is that unfortunately, as much as I know all those info, same like the casters, but usually I don't share it because I don't want to take that away from the casters. Because usually that's sharing because, hey, you're not the caster. So just because you're smart and you know everything about it, that's not your job. Let the casters take that, because the casters want to share about that. They want to share about their past feuds, everything. You can talk a little bit, but don't take... You need to understand that your role is different. Yeah, you're opening show, you're introducing the teams, you can do the little bit banter and all that. But just remember, you're not a commentator. Yeah, everybody has their own responsibilities. And by doing so, I'm giving more points for you to talk about it.
Right.
Because in my plate, my plate, I already have my things I want to do. Yeah, so this is also a problem. Some MCs, they feel that, oh, just want to show off how smart they are. I know about everything like that. But you need to know that you have your own responsibilities too. This is not your place to show off your knowledge and stuff also. You have your limitations.
Yeah, but you can set up stuff, right?
Boleh,
Like,
boleh,
oh,
boleh.
this
Sikit-sikit.
rivalry and all that.
Yeah, boleh, boleh, boleh. Yeah,
Right.
cuit sikit je lah. But you don't have to go too deep analysis. Why is... If I was a caster, that's why I say it's all a matter of perspective, right? If I were a caster listening, I say, why is this guy talking like, I thought he's supposed to pass over to us or something like that. Yeah, thinking it, right? Yeah. But at one point, you also look at it, there's nothing wrong with him doing it, but he needs to understand that this one role is the caster's one.
Right. It's a different role.
You don't want to hog as an MC of something that's supposed to be other people doing as well. If not, it'll be a rehash of things. That also becomes an issue. By you doing this, how this would implicate other talents when doing it? I think this is something that somewhat applies mostly towards sports and esports. And I would say this does not apply much towards corporate.
Yeah, it's a very different one.
I would say not as all, but very little, I would.
Yeah. Before we get on to the corporate segment, so have you had, can you share with us like some of your best and best interview moments?
Ooh,
best interview moments and maybe some of the more struggling interview moments.
A lot of struggling than good ones, unfortunately.
Let's start with which one you go first?
Let's start with the good ones first,
Okay.
because I want to shit a lot on the I want to shit a lot on the ones that are the struggling part, right? Like the good ones, I couldn't call one really good ones, but I would say that one of the best experience I've had so far when it comes to interviews has got to be during PUBG Mobile events.
Okay.
Esports events. Right? Because we're still on the esports topic, right? On sports topic. Yeah, PUBG Mobile events, especially when it comes to PMSL. PMSL specifically. Because
Okay.
I do a lot more on PMSL. I think I only did PMGC once, so I cannot say much, right? But PMSL, in general, so far the interviews were great because I had the opportunity to have a little bit of conversations with the players beforehand, create a little bit of rapport together with them so that they're able to have a much more friendlier conversation, more open up during these things. We go to the disappointing one.
Before that, we might have more viewers here who follow PUBG Mobile, maybe. Yeah. So who's your favorite player that you like to interact with?
Oh shit!
You have like one?
I would say players. The options, I think they were just okay. I wouldn't say they're like really mind blown or anything like that. If I had to say shout out to siapa? Coach Bigatron tu.
Ken.
Ken.
Okay.
Ken great.
Ken lagi kan? You a kid.
Sir Tani. Yeah, great highlights on the coaches. The players, I think like okay lah. Okay. Not great, but great tier. Yeah, Ken and Sedani, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the coaches.
Like your top tier.
Yeah, exactly. Dia bukannya macam I tanya soalan sepatah, dia jawab sepatah. I tanya soalan and they really answer based on their knowledge and insight. They're not really try to hold things in malu-malu, tak ada. They have somewhat, it's either they have somewhat proper media training or they're just very that good when it comes to in front of a camera and not shy to share their insights.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just give a bit of a tease why they are probably expressive in their thoughts. So Kent is a law student.
Ken is a lost and I see.
Yeah, so that's one. There's probably one reason. For Sir Tani, he used to work in airlines.
I see.
Yeah, so he has
PR.
to yeah, so that's also one of the reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think that explains a lot on why they present themselves well and they were not shy to share their insights at all. Yeah, they kept it very professional. They're not really like shitting or attacking on other players or anything like that. But they're more focused about the performance of their athletes and being very realistic rather than, throwing all this rainbows and butterflies and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now let's go to the other side.
Oh, shit. I don't want to call out the game titles. Let's say other than PUBG Mobile. Other than PUBG Mobile.
Okay.
Other than PUBG Mobile, most of the players are malu-malu when jawab pun macam very disappointing, very disappointing for me because I'm like, your fans datang daripada jauh, support you and everything like that. When the time comes when kita nak interview you and everything like, you jawab macam tak nak jawab, malu jawab benda macam bodoh-bodoh and all this. You know, I was like, oh come on man, you know how many people are here for you and expecting for you to do a little bit of sharing and all. Kalau nak buat shout out dekat sponsor or their organisation pun kena I poke. Anything you want to say dekat sesiapa yang menyokong you, dia orang boleh tanya I balik, siapa your fans. Tak, here's the thing. Before they open up their mouth, I don't stop as fans. I kena cakap kat you, your fans, your sponsors, family. Sebab
like away from the mic, like your fans.
Bukan. Yes, tak adalah macam tu. Nampak sangat I tengah hidden, but I still have to say on the mic, but I have say in a nice way. Because kalau I cakap fans, dia akan cakap oh kepada fans. Tak, I will say fans, families, brand, sponsors or organisations, so that dia terbuka minda untuk betul lah, I nak shout out dekat kita punya sponsor, I nak shout out kita punya organisation, kepada team, coach, manager and all this. Kau cakap fan je, kau cakap thank you fan. Takkan I nak follow cakap organisation tak nak, family tak nak. You see, as an MC also I need to know what to say, because I don't want to make it look like macam kalau I sebut ni nanti you terhad kat tu sebab nervous. I know they nervous. But then janganlah bodoh sangat atas stage tu, you know, like come on man, you if you present yourself, here's the thing, if you present yourself well, there's a very high chance that senang your organisation top hierarchy members to sell the team, nak promote and everything. Oh, look at the players, not only they're good at gaming, but they present themselves very well on stage, very professional. When diajukan soalan oleh rakan media, dia orang boleh jawab dengan professional and confident, present themselves well. You tell me you bawa budak-budak ni, dia pandai main tapi don't know how to present themselves depan orang. Bila tangkap gambar semua malu-malu. Okay, you know dia orang malu-malu kat sorok-sorok kat member. Nak interview siapa? Tolak-tolak. You lah. Come on man, tak ada ke you confident interview me? Yes.
So I want to be the devil's advocate lah kan.
Boleh.
Okay, like for players lah kan, they will say that I'm paid here to play. You know, as long as I play well, I focus on my performance. Anything else, if need to talk to media ke, interviews ke, manager lah, settle. So I don't need to focus on all the PR stuff on my own lah. I just need to focus on being the best player.
Sure.
Because if I'm not the best player, anything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, betul.
That's the argument.
I agree to a certain level. But most of the people I interview, they're not really that good. But it's not best for me to address it that way. But let's stick to how you become devil's advocate. You're right. If that was the case, you said your manager lah, somebody somebody else can speak. But don't tell me you really have when there are times where you have to step up, right? So when the spotlight is on you, don't tell me you cannot do it at all. For me, I don't lose anything since you cannot and you present yourself that way. Fine, you had a moment, you blew it. Itu je. You see other people who really shine during these interviews, who really present themselves well and everything like that, they get highlighted. You know, media's able to, you are helping a lot of people. You make your fans happy, your family's happy when they get shout out, everything. Sponsors, organizations. On top of all that, even organizers are very happy. Wow, the media's able to capture all these moments. Content creators such as yourself, casters, who are able to pick up these conversations and also use it during your commentaries and more. But of course, for them, they don't care. Oh, sorry, I just want to become the best. This is not my concern. Okay, fine. Like if you have that mentality, sure, go ahead. So hopefully, for me, if I really hear that from you, next time, no need to come on stage lah. You just hantar your manager lah, since that's how you feel, right? If you actually say that for everyone, that's how you feel. Really don't.
And is that wrong to do that? It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Manager.
Hantar manager lah. So, but you have to have this conversation early with your organisation lah. Janganlah bila nak push atas stage and then you actually say that, oh, I kat sini I tak nak cakap apa-apa pun. Memang I'm just here to become the best and all this. Boleh lah, it could become a persona where this guy, it could become a persona where people, oh, look at this guy, he's really aiming for the top. Boleh. But if you really want to push your manager, you need to have this conversation earlier on so that event organisers could also arrange and everything like that.
But you know what? It reminds me of whatever they're saying, and it reminds me of so while we're recording this, the Esports World Cup is running. That includes Valorant, and earlier today I saw like a clip that a Valorant team won the Valorant event. Okay, and then after crushing the key, right, the guy was on stage dancing, like menari, like not like dance simple tau. It's like a whole like dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, the players did that. I was like, wow, this is like next level. And this comes to my next point lah, kan sebenarnya. There has been talks around like players interviews, the difference between like mobile players and also PC players. Like you can see the gap here. What's your opinion about this?
Kalau nak cakap ada media training, tak ada media training, not really. I believe that these people who do play mobile, there are efforts by organizations themselves, there are efforts by game publishers, and there are also some event organizers who do put a little bit of effort to push this media training and talks about all that. Say guys, next time cara nak bawa diri and everything like that. Not saying there's no effort. It's just that I don't think they had enough practice on it, and I think that because Asians in general, I guess most of us are just shy, and I think people who are because when we look at the PC game titles, right? Why we talk about regions like Asians and people from the Europe and America, North America, South America is because most of these PC game titles are being played out by the Westerners, where the Asians mostly were very dominant when it comes to mobile games. Yeah, when it comes to preference of platforms, they favor console and PC more, and we favor mobile more because of all that. Right? So this is a very long conversation about this. Right? That's how I make it in summary, right? So I'm guessing that could possibly be a factor as well. Not saying that none of Asians could actually present themselves well, they are, but I would say way lesser compared to what the Westerners have to offer. So the vast majority of Westerners could actually present themselves, and I'm guessing that because I study psychology, right? Because environment-wise, most Asians, I don't want to say Asians in general, but most Asians are just not so extrovert. Even if they're extrovert, not that extrovert. So the environment in the Western countries, they're more open-minded. That's why I wouldn't say they have great PR. It's just that they have more exposure, more opportunities to actually, open up and share. So it's not just about media training. They probably had training from childhood based on their environment.
Yeah, I think this is a really good point, right? That we rarely discuss about the fact that normally in the West, there are more PC players, PC slash console. Whereas on the East side, or specifically Southeast Asia, we are mobile first market. So then it becomes a coincidence that mobile first market equals Southeast Asians or Asians. Hence the culture that you just mentioned.
Yeah, the culture. Yeah.
So it's more of a culture thing rather than a PC slash console versus mobile.
Betul. You are absolutely right. Because kalau you nak cakap pasal PC mobile, that's not true. Let's use MLBB as an example, right? You remember Mobazane? I say Mobazane, right? Because
he's very
American, right? Yeah. Even though the minority of people who do play mobile games like MLBB, HOK, and all this come from the Western countries, when they come here, the small amount of people can present themselves very well on stage because the environment is like, hey, we've always been extrovert ourselves. We come here, no problem. No problem. You guys are the majority, but we know you're more shy than us.
Yeah, so
exactly.
Naturally, even if they just show a little bit, it looks like, they are like up there. But it's just, this is just my everyday routine.
Correct.
How I speak, it's like that.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And when we do have like some players, like Sis Davai, for example, right now he plays with an international organization, very diverse. I guess that also kind of helps to shape players who are exposed to this level of diversity in terms of how they want to PR themselves.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's easier for him because he's surrounded by people who are slightly more extrovert, so it kind of shapes him to become better, somewhat suddenly. Yeah, just so you kind of mold it towards a different direction because of that.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. So that's about the sports and esports part of your experience, like. So talking about like corporate experiences, maybe you can share with us like some of the challenges that you have, which would be different compared to sports and esports hosting.
I think corporate, because there's so many different type of corporate events, that can occur, right? But from what I can tell, because I've done so much corporate events and esports and sports events at the same time as well. Corporate
maybe
events
we can start with how different it is in the first place.
That's the thing, because sports and esports, when it comes to technicalities, because I've played around so many times around the same event, right? There's nothing really, nothing comes with a surprise anymore. Like
Mm.
everybody's like, oh, this is going to be very hard. Nah, not really. I've done this so many times, so I kind of
Okay.
know my way around sports, right? But when you go to corporate, it's a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things you don't foresee. The clients, I would say, I don't want to say that they're more demanding compared to sports and esports events. It's just that you don't know what kind of client you're going to get, you know?
Mm.
So many different types of clients and expectations because it's not restricted to sports only. So let's say, for example, if it's a marathon event, they want things in a different way. And then later on at night, I have to do a gala dinner. Different type of gala dinners demand different types, different ways of executing things. So yeah, it's very challenging. And I prefer that more than esports and sports because of how challenging it is.
Okay.
Because it's really testing my abilities in MC. So now when I go to these corporate events, I'm not bored.
Okay. Try to illustrate to us like how challenging is it compared to sports, esports?
Okay, so let's say for example for corporate events, right? Usually they have a demand for the type of tone you want to set for the event. Okay, some events you might think you want to do it in a formal manner, but then it's like, oh no Flava, even though there's ministers here, they want it to be semi-casual, everything because this event is this theme and everything like that. Oh, this event we need you to be super funky. We want you to be really outside the box. Can you dress up like this? Can you like go crazy with that? Yes, can. No problem, everything like that. Or the script is like this. Oh, sorry, this is a very protocol level event. So when protocols, when you have different levels of protocols, for example, let's say for example your VIPs are foreign ministers, prime ministers, deputy ministers, ministers of normal ministry levels, or just some YBs or some normal different levels of protocols and everything like that. So you have to know your ways, how to navigate your way around. So for example, like usually for esports event, any esports event in the morning, afternoon, night is always the same. Doesn't matter the night and day. But for corporate events, morning I could be doing a half marathon when I'm super funky. In the afternoon, I could be like doing a very high level conference where I have to be super formal and everything like that. At night, I have to be super funky again because it's a gala dinner and very expecting you to be like hoo ha and everything, you know. And yeah, there's so many demands, and you'll be surprised that some clients are very anal about certain things, how you want to do it.
Oh, like
How wow, there's so many.
like your hair has to be 50 centimeters long.
Oh God, I think I've had that before, but it doesn't apply to me. It applies to some other people because
There's no way.
They just
I was
don't.
just throwing it.
Yeah, they didn't like this host's hair, so he was like, "Oh, can he change? No, we don't like it." Yeah, the client literally said like, "Don't like it," but they
Oh.
told to the agency. The agency have to channel the information to the host, right? The host
Oh.
has to do it. Everything like that. Yeah, and yeah, certain ways of yeah, they're very anal to this. It's like usually some of them like textbook. Like we don't need you to alter any words. We're giving you a script. Do not mend anything. Say it exactly like this. Yeah, just follow it. You don't get in trouble as long as you just follow it and of course deliver it properly lah.
Okay.
You have to so just because you don't change the script doesn't mean you don't have to deliver. It's not just reading. You have to deliver it.
So you have to make it sound natural.
Sound natural, professional, in the tone that they want and everything like that. Yeah. So if you don't like it, it's like, sorry, we don't like it. Can you change? Somebody's gonna poke you at the side. Hey, the client says this. Can you? Okay. Yeah. For me, my style is a little bit different because when the client tell me to change things up, I have no problem saying, okay, I'll do it. Because for me, I'll just settle for you. You have any changes last minute? You want to change it 1 minute before the event begins? No problem. Just do it fast. So yeah, I can settle for you. No problem.
Right. And
Yeah.
so what would you say is like the biggest challenge that you have faced before doing corporate events?
Ooh. I had to stop. I had to intervene the speech from the Tencent boss when he was here in Malaysia during the Level Up KL event. Yes, I remember this.
Oh, why do you have to do it?
It was during it was before COVID.
Okay.
During this event, oh God, if I say this, then see, you have to be careful. So as much as I want to be as open as possible, but so far I've been vague all this while.
I mean, you can don't name names.
No. That's the thing. Even though I don't name names, but people can actually collab. But it's okay. I think it's fine. It's fine for this one because I think they know that they're at fault. This, they were not able to get the presentation ready to be projected on the screen, so they were like, "Oh shit!" So because this big guy from Tencent, it's very rare for any big representative from Tencent to come around because usually the operations back in China, right? Yeah, so when they come here, it's like, oh shit, this is not the time, you know? It's not always he comes over, get this opportunity. The Minister of Youth and Sports at that time was also there present. The big boss of Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation was also there. There were a lot of big people over there and they can't afford to see their boss. Let's have a look at the screen and see a fuck up. Okay? So the one thing they're willing to sacrifice is their MC. All they said was, Flava, we don't care how you do it. You need to stop him somehow. Take it. Just take the fall. I know. Have you ever seen a VIP talk and you have to cut him off? And the VIP, here's the thing. I was like, it took me like, I told them, give me 5 seconds because I need to think. It's
like
not
how
that
you going to potong.
correct. As much as I can impromptu my way, just give me 5 seconds. I need to think. And spend 5 seconds I need to think of how I want to approach this. Because either way, I'm still gonna kena, right?
Yeah.
So I somehow managed to cut him off. He did look confused. Like, why is this guy talking while I'm still on my speech? He has not arrived to the part where he's like, so I potong. I had to do some stuff, have some conversation. I'm like, oh no. And they're not giving me a time. It's not like, Flava, I need your 5 minutes. No, there was no
like,
time. Yeah, it was 10 minutes, bro. It was that long. Okay? Yeah. So this is how we work together with everyone. So this is how the MC works together with everybody weekend without communicating. While I'm saving everybody's asses, including that Tencent boss's ass, I hope you on the back end know what to do. For example, if you do see them trying to kill a lot of time, hopefully somebody on the other side try to tell the Tencent boss, can you because he don't know how long he has to be there. And he's also confused. Why is this MC talking, right? So can you pull him away and let him sit down first and let him come back up, So you have to tend to him. I tend to the audience. I had to do a freaking lucky draw. I had to joke around with the minister. I joke around with the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation and everything like that. Big bosses and everything like that. Honestly, there was no saving it. What scenario, what could you say that could explain why are you cutting off the speech of a very big VIP. He wasn't low level Tencent employee. He was big boss. Tencent HQ, So yeah, and yeah, so that was one of the I would say there's nothing else that tops that. So yeah, but luckily everybody knew something was going on, but they don't know what's going on because they knew that this is not normal.
So you managed to cover up so nice that people kind of know, but they don't know.
They know some shit is happening. They just don't know what it is. But everybody's just playing along. They have no choice, right? Everybody has to play along, right? Yeah, but those are some of the shits I had to do that. Yeah. If I say that's first place because how much of a big of a VIP that guy is. Okay, that's one. The other one was... Is there another one? I think there are other big stuff. It's just that their one takes the cake because I'm very worried because, taking the fall like that kind of hurts. But at least the event organizers kind of owe me big time. So they keep hiring me every year because of that. It's like, hey, we know what you did. And we know how you saved the event and all this. Yeah, so... And because I pun tak berkira sangat to do all this. But if I do that, you better remember that I did that with you guys. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. If you guys are familiar with the cartoon Courage the Cowardly Dog, right? I always like the things. This phrase he says, "The things I do for love." Yeah, so this is a phrase for Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, okay, that's your favorite. That's your favorite line, for God.
Yeah, for things I do for love.
Okay. Let's not make you sweat any more longer.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
But actually, it looks like, honestly, when I hear this story, right, it doesn't sound like anything wrong. It sounds more like your capability to be able to just react impromptu to save whatever that is needed to be done.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of those skills that like what we talked about during earlier of the podcast, that
Yeah.
it's not only about your stage presence, your
Betul.
speech, you knowing the flow and all that, but when things like emergencies happen, how
Mm,
are you going to take control of the situation? I think
exactly.
that's the biggest value that probably a lot of people don't see, or maybe some people who aspire to be hosting talents,
Got it.
they don't see that, oh, this is actually a key thing that you need to be good with.
Betul. Because you always think about best case scenario. This is
Mm.
a brace yourself. Just brace yourself. Things can happen. And because you are on top of the stage, you need to smile. You need to smile, and you need to like I cakap lah, basically, let's say for example a fire is happening, right?
Mm.
You know that meme where you're still smiling but there's a fire, or you
Yeah.
that's you as a host. Yeah, you still have to smile because you need to entertain everybody else. Make sure that they don't panic. And everybody's having an enjoyable time while people at the back are like taking out the fire, like pouring water and all
The house is
this.
burning
The house is
behind.
burning in the back, like save
Mm.
it, save it. And Tula, yeah, some of the things. So that's why usually I love having conversations with talents like yourself as commentators, right? And MCs, because you can relate. You have gone through some sort of this. It's like, yeah, I understand. Some, I would say, even though the cases that I have to go through are kind of drastic, I'm not surprised that there are other MCs who have to go through much crazier situations.
Right.
Yeah, but even if they don't, they can kind of understand the possibility of those things happening,
Mm.
and they will start imagining what would I have done if that was the case. People started having those simulations at the back of your head, and I'm very sure as a commentator, you have gone through some sort of things where you had to do a little bit of cover, in between segments during game and everything like that, delaying before passing over to host
Mm.
or whatever, or throwing to a commercial break, or kena sidai.
Oh.
Yeah, and many more, and yeah.
You just
I think all of you guys watching this would know what Sidai is, right? Yeah, and all this kind of stuff, yeah.
But what I'm intrigued about, like what you do professionally, also is how do you train yourself to react spontaneously in those kind of situations? Because honestly, okay, if anyone who's aspiring to be a host, an MC, commentator, or talent in
Mm-hmm.
general, um, learning to just speak is easy, right? Because it's on the surface, you would know that, okay, to be a good commentator, you have to have a good presentation, you
Yeah.
speak well and all that. But people don't always get to see like the critical part of it. Like, how did you train yourself to be in control of situations, be able to think of solutions in such situations?
How I break down this you is for this is into two. Okay, one is my answer now because I'm somewhat experienced to a certain level. And my answer back then, if I was still a fresh MC, would be way different. Because right now my answer is very simple. Because I've already trained myself. Because because I've done it so many times. So my mind and body is kind of trained. I kind of know already. For example, like the camera, where this person is standing, where should I stand, what I need to do, what I need to say. Because I'm already trained at a certain point. But I would not have this knowledge when I just started. Okay, so basically, when I started, what I always tell myself that think about perspective, right? Because when you're on stage, your perspective, you see crowd and then there's camera. Okay? Now think about these two things. How would the audience see you on stage alone? How would the audience see our VIPs there on stage, how they're positioned and all this? You need to have a good understanding about perspective. Because I'm very sure one point in your life you were on that end where you're an audience. So if I was an audience, what should I do? How should I stand? What are things I should say and should not say, which would not mengguris hati? To what limit? What is the threshold? What is the line I should not cross and everything like that? You know. So at the start too, of course, you're trying and error. Of course, I wouldn't say that at the start I got everything done. I know everything from perspective. Not really. There are some things I don't know. I might have made a mistake doing stuff and everything like that. But if you can discipline yourself continuously with experience, then you'll be able to get it right most of the time rather than getting wrong a lot of times. Okay.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but tu lah pasal you need to. Yeah, I think perspective is very very important. For example, I've always tell people when it comes to interviews, can I use this mic? When it
Oh,
comes to interview, if my if my if the person I'm interviewing is next to me, right? Perspective wise, I shouldn't pass the mic like this. Now I look very awkward. Why is my hand crisscrossing like this? So as an MC, what you do if you're too used to using the mic like this, you can slowly, like smoothly, just transition over to this mic, and then you hand over like this. So you see now it's more kemas, where my hand is only required to traverse just a little bit. So with experience, then you see it doesn't look awkward on live stream rather than like this. It
yeah,
is so weird. Like the hand is like this.
yeah.
And then even for commentators, you guys don't know this, right? Usually, for example, the position of the mic, whether it's on the left, like see, even though this is actually my right, but I'm saying it left because on the perspective of the audience, this is your left. So I've already trained myself that I say this left all the time, even though this is actually my right. Okay, because on the camera it's reverse, right? Because your perspective. Okay, so when we talk this, when we stream, why is the mic here? Why is the mic here and why is my mic here? Because because of reasons. For example, if Cloud is here next to me, my mic will be here so that when I look at him, you will see more of my face rather than a mic here taking up the space and everything like that. So for him, he will have the mic here on this side. So when he goes here, there's no mic here and the mic is actually over on this side. So these are the things where takkan nak tunggu production to ajar you cakap you tak tahu. You know sometimes diorang macam alamak takkan ni pun nak kena ajar and they cannot cut you off. The show already started. Then they fix you barulah bila after commercial break barulah you guys betulkan mic and everything like that. That's why I say people have some sort of expectations benda-benda like this kind of things. For example, bila VIP, I'll teach one thing. You know when VIP habis berucap kan,
Mm.
I'll use Sir Cloud as a VIP.
Wow,
Sir
very
Cloud,
irritating person.
ya betul. So Sir Cloud dah bagi ucapan, terima kasih. Then everybody tepuk tangan. Of course everybody tepuk tangan for VIP. I would say terima kasih diucapkan kepada Yang Berhormat Tuan Andrew Cheong ataupun Sir Cloud Datuk ucapan beliau sebentar sahaja tadi. Now the question is, when do you continue with your next agenda? Because usually, let's assume a big stage, right? Usually, right now, because we're the chairman of ASEAN, right? So usually stages are very, very big. It takes time for you to walk from your podium, your rostrum, all the way up to your seat at the VIP seat. When you walk, bila you turun, dah lah jauh. It takes a little bit of time. Bila you turun tu, VIP lain nak salam you lah. Nice speech. Very like it. Duduk. Thank you. Then you duduk. Then some other people shake your hand. Give it like 1-2 seconds after you duduk, baru you continue. Because it'll be, ini cara kasar agak kurang ajar if you continue on with the agenda of the event. YB, your VIP belum duduk lagi. A lot of people don't get this. And sometimes me as an audience, when I go to other people's event, right? Oh shit, the VIP dah continue. Our next agenda is, but the VIP is still walking.
It's like you want to like halau dia sort of.
No, it's
signal,
not
is it?
that, but you're not paying attention. You're not really paying attention to what's going on, you know? Like you because if you haven't sat down and I run around, it's disrespectful because you tak bagi I chance nak duduk dulu ke? Aren't I your VIP? Didn't you say that I was your very important person and you treat me like macam duduk pun tak sempat you nak agenda? Yeah, you know? And this is like my kasar way of saying this. Like, you want to be respectful? Show it in the way how you present yourself as an MC on stage. Yeah, so these are all protocols. Actually, it's not even protocol. They should be very normal. It doesn't have to be a VIP. Your VIP for any level event, level sekolah ke and all that, tunggulah your pengetua ke, guru besar semua dah duduk, baru you continue on with the event. Because he's the main VIP guy that you wanna that you wanna entertain for the day, right? And those kind of things. Those are some small examples of things that most MCs are just not mindful of things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The basic, yeah.
Right. There's so many more things that's
Yes.
much more deeper lah, kan? But you just gave some of them earlier on, which can be also very scenario based.
Exactly, very scenario based. So many different scenarios.
So in Chinese we call this sometimes you need to be 醒目.
醒目.
Yeah. So you pronounce it very with the right accent. I'm impressed. That means that you are smart. Like street smart. like tahu buat. That's what it means.
Ah,
Yeah, so like you look at the scenario, it's very scenario based, then you react according to that scenario.
betul.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you sometimes don't know like who's going to react in what way.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes, trust me, even though I'm sharing all the stuff, mistakes do happen because sometimes there's miscom with talent managers, ke, agency event organizer. These things happen, but the thing is, in the perspective of the mass public, they see these mistakes, right? Oh, ni salah MC ni. But actually, they don't know whose mistake it is. All this happening and all this. But the people who work with you do know, have this conversation. Don't worry, it's all working together. We're not pinpointing that is the fault of somebody or some group of people in the event. It's not about that, but it's all about working together and making the best of what you can do. Mistakes, shits are bound to happen in an event, especially big ones where there's a lot of things at stake, where everything has to work together. If we don't work together, including commentators for esports events also, if we don't work together, things are delayed, start lambat, you'll be affected too, and everything like that. Everyone's affected somehow. So, do you wanna bitch about it, or you just work together, make it a good event, and bitch later? Ini pun satu masalah juga. You don't bitch during the event because during the event, the show is happening. You have to focus on the event. You not bitch later about it. You not cry ke. You wanna give a middle finger to whoever you want and all this. But during events, not the time. You have to be professional. You have to understand. And that event is not about you. They're just paying you to work on their behalf. So you have to make it a good show as well. So work together. Ni bukan tempat you mencap up about how great you are as an MC or as a caster and everything like that. It's not. This is not the place. You have a lot of responsibilities laying on your shoulder because these people who have worked very, very hard for the past X amount of months pray that they also pray they don't fuck up. They also don't pray you as our talent yang kita dah agree on. We've gone through 10 different talents. At the end of the day, we pick you. Hopefully you don't fuck up too. Something like that. Yeah.
Right. And I would tie back to like some of our earlier points, right? Like you also mentioned about managing all these scenarios that is unexpected. Sometimes it really depends on experience.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have accumulated this experience during university when you did uni events and all that, you volunteered yourself, and all that, doing pocket events and all that. And those accumulated experiences actually help you to be prepared for also like the real world situations that could happen, like those examples that you mentioned earlier on.
I agree.
Yeah.
To a certain level, yes, they definitely do. I agree.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I want to also move on to another part about hosting, right? So I guess this is a common thing that everybody always asks. Is hosting economically sustainable?
This answer could go north and could go south real fast.
Wow. Okay, I honestly I don't really know the answer. Yeah.
I would say most MCs are part-time MCs. Are part-time MC, meaning that they do have a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday work or whatever 5 days a week work, and then they MC during the weekends to make it sustainable. So most of them MC becomes pocket money rather than their main source of income. The reason because it's not stable. There's no such thing as stability when it comes to MCing. Because there will be times where you have a lot of jobs. There will be times where things are very, very dry. And even if there's a lot of jobs all the time, right? The prices also vary depending on the clients. So, for example, like this week and next week, I have 5 over 7 days of job. Next week, 5 or 7 days of job. Are they the same P? No. So that equals not the same. So you cannot expect the same amount of pay. Could be the same amount of days of work, but not really the same amount of pay. It varies from one another as well. So you cannot rest. So most of the time they end up doing this as part-time instead, because they know that most of the time most office jobs are always weekdays. So weekends will be the time of the event. Hey, by the way, so this is actually my son. So this is
Yeah.
actually Aiden.
Introduce.
My god, damn. Yeah. So Aiden, you can actually have a seat here and actually have a listen things. Yeah. So there's a thing. But the ones who actually do full time,
Yeah.
they must have somewhat, I would assume, most of them. I never say all, right? Most of them are somewhat confident they're able to actually get X amount of jobs and be and able to sustain X amount of money coming in into the bank account on a monthly basis.
Mm.
All right? You cannot touch that. You cannot touch that. Oh, imagine if this happening in an event. I'll be dead. All right. Oh,
It's gonna
God.
be the next sound engineer. It's exploring it.
Sometimes you get a one-time off really big paycheck and you get super, oh, if I can do this continuously, it'll be great. But you know, I pray. I'm always very positive when it comes to these things, right? I'm like, I pray that's true, that you're able to replicate this kind of big paychecks every single month,
Mm.
and pray good things, right? But if it doesn't, hopefully you do have a proper backup plan to things. How do I solve this? Okay.
Here. What would your thought be for an aspiring MC? Like, do you think that it's a good time for them to get in? Like,
Since there's no such thing as an age limit when it comes to emceeing, right? But I would say that a lot of people would try to get into this industry, this kind of work young. So like by the age of 20-ish, you dah start, becoming an MC. Some of our legendary level MCs are like 40 and above. The 30 and above are not legendary MCs. They're good, but they're not really like the superstar MCs and all that. Usually the 40 above are like the ones like that. And the
Right.
50, if you made it in 40 years old of age and above, if you made it, 50 years of age, you're just continuing on that. Just snowball over. If you're not making it if by 30 you're still not making it great, some people just fall off and start doing something else.
Mm.
Kind of like that, But there's no definite number for this and everything. I swear, I do apologize for everyone. Like my kid is ruining the production side. I think that's the beauty of this podcast, I guess.
Yeah, it's natural. It's
Yeah, it's
fine.
natural. Yeah, these things happen in real life. So exhibit A of shits that can happen in an event, kids going up on stage.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you tak boleh muka masam like, apa jadi ni? Like,
Yeah.
you have to care. Hi, anak siapa?
Yeah. But coming back to your point earlier, right? From what I hear you explain, right? Okay, because you still have like the generation of old hosts and MCs.
Yeah.
That it's like the legendary, the 40s and above, like what you said. And then you still have the category of like the 30s and above. And then if any new talent were to try to even come in,
Mhm.
like then there's not as much room for them to come in still. So the barrier becomes very high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. It's somewhat of a competition, right? Right,
Mm.
where like right now there are a number of brands, companies, entities who already have their favorite MCs. It's very hard to penetrate the market because you can like, I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want to pick you. I know you're good, but we have an MC where him or her has always been our go-to MCs or something like that.
Mm.
Some of them already have one only. Some of them have 2 to 3 go-tos. Like if this one's not available, we have this very hard market. But there's still openings. We have this Facebook and WhatsApp group called MCs of Malaysia, where we
Oh.
do share some jobs around MCs, right, and all this. There are openings, meaning that there are a lot of opportunities out there which are available.
Right.
But of course, existing MCs are also hungry in jumping into that, whereas other new MCs are also trying to jump into that too.
Mm.
But of course, if you try to fight against the veteran MCs, it's not going to be that easy.
Mm.
For veteran MCs, they will have a better portfolio, they have a better profile to show and everything. So it's not going to be easy. But speaking of profiles, this is where newer MCs could actually have an advantage. With good knowledge, you're able to penetrate into the market properly. Because for me, right, because I do event organizing as well, I do have profiles of a lot of MCs under my belt.
Mm.
I look at MCs like they don't really know what exactly they need to submit to a client to get hired. Like they're really good, but they're not really sending the good stuff, like the 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 proper stuff they need to submit to a client. For example, when you want to apply for work, right? You want to submit your resume, which highlights your how do you say this? Your studies, like diploma, degree, masters, and everything like that. Right? As an MC, I couldn't care less about whether you're a first class honors in degree, masters, or diploma. I couldn't care less because that does not translate to how well you are as an MC. I want to see pictures. I want to see videos. I want to see what are the list of events you've done before in that field, that the event that I'm about to do. For example, if I'm doing healthcare events, my first question to you is, how familiar are you with healthcare events? Have you done healthcare events? What kind of events are those? And what kind of events are those? And more. If you've never done, now the client is like, he's never done healthcare before.
So will you know the terms that we will use and stuff like that?
Yeah. So they're a little bit reserved. Ooh. Then look at the other options. This MC does healthcare before. So very high chance that he's gonna get hired. Yeah. And then like I said, no videos, only photos. Then you're an MC. You don't have a video reel of yourself doing MCing for various type of events. Don't lah hantar satu video. For example, you hantar video you buat wedding. I not hire you into event protocol for ministers and all this. How do I know you can present yourself very well? You know, it's like, Cloud, hire lah me. I'm very sure I can do it. Although you've never seen me do it, but trust me, I can. Word is not enough. I need to see and hear. I want to see how you present yourself in front of a rostrum, without rostrum, open stage where you walk about. Are you just statically standing there? Are you making full usage of the stage and more? You know, like
really that many categories, that detail?
Yeah, many.
Wow.
Yeah. So for example, if you don't fit into that, then of course you feel a little bit, because sus is like, sorry, I thought
maybe out of place.
Other candidates fit into the bill that we're looking for. Yeah. I'm looking for a marathon. Oh, dia ada gambar dia buat marathon lah. Meaning that he or she has that marathon. But profile dia tak ada gambar marathon lah. Nak buat event minister. Have you done any minister events? No. Can you do it? Yes. So you want us to take your word for it? It's only taking your word. Pictures tak ada. Video tak ada. Oh my goodness. And so it's all about convincing. And then kalau portfolio you macam buat macam pakai Microsoft PowerPoint level sekolah versus somebody whose profile is like super professional and super nice, obviously I ambil the cantik one. Or there's also other options. Ada cable. Cable also exists. Friend also exists. Yeah. For me, okay, now speaking from my experience, right? Profile wise, I think my profile is just okay. Yes. Most of the professional MCs, they have good profiles, meaning that videos ada, audio ada, gambar ada. When client minta, I have it, no problem. Boleh buat event ni, boleh. Now everybody's somewhat on a same level, right? For me, most of the jobs that I got is from clients seeing me perform on stage. When I do another event, other clients, contoh like event dekat mall ke, event attendees and all this, and I said, wow, this MC is amazing. Hey, I want to hire you for an upcoming event. Most of my jobs are actually from that. Because at that moment, there are also other potential clients who's also looking at how well you're doing. Yeah, exactly. On top of that, there are also other people out there who are also MCs themselves, who are also looking for potential MCs they can recommend if he or she could not do the job. For example, I've had a lot of inquiries where, Flava, I want to hire for this event. I'll tell them, oh, I'm so sorry, I cannot take up this event because on that particular date, I'm already booked. Do you have anyone to recommend? Now, when it comes to recommendations, I have to see the level of the event. If the event is macam event biasa-biasa je, I can almost recommend, I would say like if I had 10 MCs that I know of in my phone book, very high chance I can recommend all 10 MCs because this event is very low level. All of them can do. But it's a very high level event. Then you start looking in your contact list. You're like, I don't think she can handle it. I don't think he can handle it because I've never seen it before. So because you also don't want to recommend the wrong person.
Because later, when you recommend, it's a form of trust.
Yeah, exactly. You say, apa MC you recommend ni? Kenapa MC ni ke laut ni? Kenapa MC ni tak reti buat ni? You recommend. So now they have a distrust on you because of the performance of the person you recommend. Yeah. So there's so many scenarios behind all this. So Yeah, so I'm just saying this, that yes, new MCs can also possibly overtake veteran MCs who don't know how to present themselves or influence potential clients to actually hire them. Yeah, because some of them, but of course, it's not my place to. I know their profiles are shitty, but it's not my place to jaga tepi kain and tiba-tiba tegur, your profile shitty, improve lah. No. And it's like, come on, you should be professional enough to know how well you look like on profile, right?
Yeah, and nowadays there's a lot of resources, right? People who talk about like doing a good CV or doing a good
Oh yeah,
profile.
banyak.
Yeah, you can search on YouTube or wherever lah. Right? There's a lot of resources talking about all these and even giving templates or they demonstrate a good a good profile also.
Yes,
So
betul.
yeah, that you can use as a guidance and all that. Yeah. But hearing from you, right, it sounds like there are enough job opportunities for MCs out there. Are you ready for it? Do you have the right profile for it
Yeah,
and all that,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not. Remember, I know you're hungry for jobs, but once you get the job, janganlah you macam I cannot do the job. It's like, hey, hey, you come to us, you want to accept the job, and now you're telling me you having heebie-jeebies, you're having butterflies, and suddenly
Oh,
you rasa macam, yeah, I think I cannot do the job. I took up the job because the paycheck looks big, and I was like, ooh, of course I'm not gonna say no, right?
and
But
then when you see the stage, then
yeah,
you go like, oh
yeah.
no.
Bila time buat tak boleh pula. It's bro, macam I cakap, I think we had this conversation early where people like to upsell themselves. Not upsell, sorry, I don't want to use that word. People who try to sell themselves as being super amazing and everything like that. Bila time nak buat kerja, alah. You know? You can
Right.
tell very easily. You can tell very easily, right? If the client doesn't hire you anymore, or let's say for example, this series of the event happening this year, usually MC, next series dah ambil you dah. So you can kind of sniff like, oh shit, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not the one they're looking for.
But sometimes they may not get the feedback before that happens, so it becomes a little bit too late.
Correct, yeah.
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 So how do you deal with realizing before anything happens? Like I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general lah.
Yeah. It depends on the kindness of the clients or the event organizers or everyone involved on the top management, right, for the event. Whether they're kind enough to tell you to your face that actually what you did was kind of the client's kind of disappointed, and or they can just keep it hidden. It can or they can just be nice and like, hey, you did great. But in the back of the head, actually, no, you did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just just being friendly just for the sake of it. But actually, no, you kind of fuck up real bad. But we don't have the heart to tell it to your face.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it sounds like for the most part, it's really up to yourself as an MC to be able to just realize and just do your best every single time.
Yeah, every single time, because your client, there's potential clients. Yeah, so retaining current clients and also with hope that these potential clients are able to become your clients, translating them into clients in the future, Yeah, it's very important.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So when it comes to like new people who wants to come up, right? What would be your advice to people who wants to do what you do?
I would say go to proper MC training workshops. I didn't go through that. So just because I didn't go through that does not mean that doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should. I would say that it's slightly pricey because the MCs also have a lot of knowledge they wanna curahkan kepada you. These are very valuable knowledge, so that's why they're charging it quite expensive. If you see MC workshops at 3-figure, like beberapa ratus tu, probably those are not big MCs. Usually big MC, they will charge you like 4 figures. Yeah, for the workshop. It's like 1-2 day workshops and all this. And yeah, go to the workshop. Second is you need to create yourself a profile where you'll be submitting to your potential clients. It must include links to a video reel, some audio reel, audio only, pictures of you performing in events. Now, you might be asking this. If I've never MC'd before, ever started, I don't have videos of me at an event because I baru nak start. Does it make sense? I don't have pictures of me at an event because I baru nak start. Like, how do you start? Like, that does not mean you cannot start. For example, you can just take professional photos of yourself. Okay, you can do recordings of yourself reading a script. All right, it's better than not having anything at all. You cannot use excuse that I belum start MC lagi. Macam mana I nak gambar MC ni? You can just read off a script, stand in front of a rostrum or something like that.
Yeah, like you do a mock, right?
It's like a mock. It's like a mock. Don't use that excuse, right? Create a proper profile, explain yourself, your abilities, your audio, because they want to see how you look like. And 3 different sets of photos: formal, semi-formal or semi-casual, and casual, because they want to see how hip you are when you're really, really hip, how formal you can be when you're really formal. And you can show, or you can add on more pictures to show a variety, so you're not limited to just this kind of wear. So, for example, you want to wear a different tie, different suit, just to show off that you do have a variety of things you can wear. And then how you present yourself, standing still, 1. Walking about is also 1. And remember, when you're standing still, just because you're holding a mic or it's a standing mic does not mean you cannot use any body and hand gestures. For example, minimal body gestures is like this when you're at rostrum. Tak adalah macam too much, right? But very minimal, but the audience can tell whether you're professional or not. Like this all the time. My God, this guy's so stiff. Hand also don't move and everything like that. Come on, small hand gestures. If you're holding mic with one hand, you still have a left hand to use, all right? In this sense, I still have to say it's your left hand, even though perspective-wise is your right, but this is my left hand, okay? Left hand, if you're over, you still have this hand. If you have mic on the mic stand, you have both hands to play around, which is even better, and everything like that. And then now, even if you have mic and script at hand, still can do hand gestures. Trust me, you still can. Yeah, there's no such thing. Yeah, go to all these workshops and classes.
I was about to want to hear, like, how do you do that? Like, you have a mic script.
Boleh move together with your body.
You do like this.
No, you cannot, because you still want to read, right? But you can lean your body forward a little bit. So you see when I present myself, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm doing this, so you can move your body a little bit. You can just tell. So you're moving together, and how? Okay, I'll show you this, right? A lot of MCs, I swear, I don't know how you do it, right? You need to hold your mic, even though you're moving about a lot. You're running here, on the left side of the stage, the right side of the stage, and all this. Make sure the position of your mic is always of the same distance with your mouth, because if it runs away, then the production is like, oh shit, kenapa suara dia lari ni? Sekejap perlahan and all, because you know this. So practice how to do this. Jangan salah pegang. Oh my God, I just realized there's so many things to be mindful of.
Oh, okay.
Jangan pegang kat area antena nanti.
Yeah, cable.
Yeah, there's so many things, I swear. Yeah. Then belum lagi IEM, dengar IEM, kiri kanan, you tak selesa pakai kiri kanan, whatever. No. I swear there's so many things going on and all this.
It's almost like we can do a whole 101 episode with all that.
No, I cannot, because nanti orang MC lain buat workshop tak leceh makan. But what I'm giving you is very, very little. There's so many other things that needs to be learned and all this. It's not enough if I guess. And in all honesty, I'm not even supposed to also share everything with you, right? But you get the gist of it. From what I'm sharing, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more things. Correct what Sakla said. It's a very scenario kind of thing. When the scenario comes, we'll see whether you can handle yourself or not. Yeah. But for new MCs, that's what you need. Those 2 things. You need those things. And yeah, I think that's all you need to get your gears running and everything. So basically, the baseline, you have everything done. Your profile, picture, video, whatever, and all this. Semua settle. And you already have your training ready. Now you're ready to be hired professionally.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're also towards the end of our podcast. But before that, I want to throw a hot take question to you. Okay, now that you have gone through the many years of doing hosting, and obviously you are very successful with it. You have done international shows and all that. But now that you have gone through everything, look, if you were to turn back time, would this still be the route that you take, or would you say that, you know what, there's other things that you would rather do? There you go, future host.
Yeah. Yes, my answer will be definite yes. Because I enjoy doing it. So it's not just for the sake of, it's not just about money behind it too, but the added value is because I enjoy doing it. I think before this I did highlight, right? I like doing corporate events because it's so challenging. I just enjoy being able to pull off all this very heavy technical events very well.
Mm.
It's just like a challenge for myself, you know. Um, I still do esports event, not trying to say that oh I got bored of esports events. It's always the same and all this. It is. But I still do enjoy emceeing for events, maybe corporate, formal, semi-formal, esports, sports, whatever it may be. I still do enjoy it, but I'm still, you know, who doesn't love a little bit of challenge in life, right?
Mm.
Just to be a little bit challenged, right? So yeah, that I think that's just me. But I always give my 110% into any kind of events that I do, no matter how small or how big it may be. Yeah.
So even if you can Doctor Strange yourself and turn back time, you will still go through this path.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely go through this bus and even execute it even better at the start because I would immediately go to this MC classes,
Oh,
this MC workshop
that's
classes.
one thing that you will change.
Yeah, I
Take
would
a
do that.
formal MC training.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I can pick up on this immediately rather than later baru nak pick up and everything like that. Yeah, because I started late on doing that. I didn't do that at all.
Mm.
And when it came to doing the profile and all that, also I kind of did it kind of late. You know, like I said,
Mm.
I didn't had formal training. I had nobody to tell me about all this. But nowadays we're living in an era where there's so many information available
Mm.
online, right, for you to just grab for yourselves. So you should be doing things better and faster compared to the pace where I'm at.
Mm. Okay, that's very cool. Yeah. Okay. Maybe one day are we going to see a workshop from you?
If there's a request, if there's a demand, sure, why not? I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. If there was a workshop, I did had thoughts about it. If there was a workshop, it's not just about teaching you how to be a proper MC, but also how to build up a proper profile for yourself so that by the end of the workshop, you don't just have the knowledge, but you already have a profile made for yourself already. You know, including you bringing your suit, your attire, all that. Just bring it. There's a professional photographer who's going to capture all your photos
Oh.
and already settle your professional photos. There's going to be a master tailor who's also going to give you advice on how to properly wear suits. What's a good length? What's a good number of buttons? How to properly wear them? And also possibly you could also explore on getting these master tailors to actually do a suit for you, which suits your body type and everything.
Wow. Okay, okay. I'm imagining that if you sign up for this workshop, you walk in and then once it's done, you walk out, you have a full package that you're ready to go out to the world.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically you're not just getting guidance on how to because becoming an MC is about how you present yourself, right? It's not just the voice, but also what you wear, how you wear them, and how you rock them on stage or off stage. It depends.
Okay, last question. Favorite event? Like top tier, like number one.
Malaysia Auto Show 2025. Without a doubt, my number one event.
Okay, that was quite recent from the day we were recording.
Yes, very recent. It was a month and a half ago. And I'm going to tell you why it was. They are more bigger level events. There's minister events, foreign minister events, world leaders events, and all this. At the start, I thought that would be my answer. Back then, that would have been my answer. But now the answer is Malaysia Auto Show 2025. The answer is very simple. The event was so challenging because I had to MC 4 to 5 different events per day for 7 days. So
it was very challenging schedule-wise from what I hear.
Yeah, so morning I had to do a different event. So I have to remember the sequencing based on the rehearsal on the previous day. So every day, the rehearsal for today is the night before.
Right.
And the rehearsal tonight is for the day after. So you have to remember all this because they are ministers. There's some big bosses from all this automotive industry and all this. So the way you execute it, and you have to know the shit that you're working with, right? Terms, automation terms and everything like that. The way you read some of the salutations for the VIPs has to be correct. Yang Berhormat, Insignia, Yang Berhormat Timbalan Menteri lah, whatever, Dato, Datin, all this stuff, right? You have to get it right. The way you say it must be correctly, especially since me being a Malay, I also want to make sure that I say the names of this VIP correctly lah, the tone lah, all that. Because of how challenging the event is, that's number one on my list. Not because of the prestige, but more on how it was so fun knowing that I'm able to handle the pressure and the challenges.
Right. Okay. Amazing
Yeah,
stuff. Amazing
macam tu,
stuff. Yeah. And thank you so much for like sharing like the whole journey. I think there's a lot of also things that even I would have thought like, oh, okay. I thought on the surface, generally people would think that okay, emceeing is that to be the best MC, you have to speak fluently. You know, the maybe how to crowd control. You know those kind of things. But when speaking to you more, what I discover is that oh yeah, when not the best case scenario happens, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is like the key differentiator of if you are a good MC and you're a great MC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So amazing stuff. But yeah, hopefully we get to hear more from you in future episodes. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the idea what you said about doing like podcasts like on a weekly basis and all that because
Yeah.
would love to share insights about. I really want to hear your insights about
you're turning
on
the
certain-
tables.
No, that's the thing. I'm very sure you have your own insights on certain hot drama and topics that's
Wow.
going on around the world, right? Not limited to gaming and esports. I also have the kind of insights I want to share too, and I think we're also curious to hear people's insights on these things as well, right? Because I don't think it's all about us. We want to know about what you think.
Yeah. So that means whatever topic that you have in mind that you think that you want us to discuss, feel free to put it in the comment section. And as always, as in all clichéness, don't forget to subscribe. So that's all for our this episode of Podcast Berlesen. We thank you so much for watching and hope to see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, most definitely.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Where's my kid? Hey.
Yeah.
I swear. This does not happen in events.
Hey, it's natural.
Yes.